A common task in the command line is needing to search for particular files. Today I'm going to show you how to use the find command to search for particular file types and file names. In addition, I'll be modeling some keyboard shortcuts for entering command in the bash shell. Today I'm starting from the data file in the Software Carpentry Bootcamp folder. If you type ls, you'll find 4 things in that directory. We may be interested in looking at the files in the data directory, and so I'm going to use the find command to search for particular file names or info about files. The syntax of the find command requires you to next indicate where you'll be searching, and so I'll enter a dot to indicate the current directory. I'll also be entering the option type, and then D, to show that we're looking for directories in particular. If we enter that command, you will see the same 4 things, astro, bio, chem, and evil, as indicated with the ls command. But you'll also see 2 additional subdirectories within chem, elements and pdb. This is because find is recursive. That means it's searching within directories, their subdirectories, and their subdirectories until it finishes searching throughout all files in the hierarchy. If we wanted to try another option, we could arrow up and then use the left and right arrows or delete to change the text. Let's enter type F to search for files as opposed to directories. The output you see here is much more extensive, and that's because there are many more files than directories within this data folder. If we wanted to narrow down this output a little bit more, let's arrow up again and then add an additional option of max depth. This command is going to restrict the levels of searching. We're going to restrict it to 2 levels in the file hierarchy. If you enter that command, you'll see that we only come up with files from astro, bio, and evil. The chem directories that we found from the previous search are not showing up here. And that's because they exist in files that are more than 2 levels of depth in the hierarchy. You can also go back and search for content at or below a certain level. So if you arrow up again, we're going to change the max depth command to min depth. And then I'll set this at 3 so we can examine the rest of the file outputs that weren't encapsulated in the max depth search. If you hit enter, you'll notice here that we find all of the files within the chem directory, and scrolling up a little bit, it's only the chem files. And that's because chem is the only directory that includes subdirectories. Another option that you can use in find is searching for name matching of files or directories. Let's try a file. The syntax is the same here, where you type the command and then a dot to indicate the current directory. The option, most appropriately, is named name. We're going to be searching for a number of different types of files, and so I'm going to enter a wildcard. Wildcards represent many different files. There are multiple wildcards that you can use in the bash shell, but asterisk is an example of one, and it represents 0 or more characters. I'm going to be searching for any file that ends in .txt, so any text file. It's important here to put this file name in single quotes, because then find knows to search all directories within data. If we hit enter, then we'll find files within astro, bio, and evil ending in txt. None of the chem files end in txt in any of the directories, so none of those are found. There are many other options to use in find. You can see them for yourself by typing man for manual and then find. Here you can use the arrows to scroll up and down to see the different options available, and then hit Q to go back to your command prompt.